What up, what up, what up? We're back. It's been a minute. Thanks for having me again, Leo.
Oh, yeah, you got it, sister.
I'm sorry I've been incognito, but I've been still grinding.
Oh, definitely. That's the main thing. You got to grind and maintain. Definitely.
Exactly so. But it's Sunday fun day. We back. We got Nate on the mic. Say hey, Nate.
What's going on, everybody?
We got my boy Leo over there. We're going to talk about leadership today and why is leadership important and who are leaders, right?
Mm-hmm.
Who do we consider leaders? Hi, Elton. We got people chiming in. Hey, Ali. Thanks for tuning in. So what you want to talk about, Leo?
Okay. Well, if some of y'all checked out the title, some of y'all might not. Y'all just might be just jumping on here, but leadership. It's all about a mindset. You can't have a leadership preference or a leadership standpoint and have a follower mindset.
Very true.
It doesn't exist. And you also have to realize that if you're going to call yourself a leader, it's a lot of responsibility that comes with that. A lot of responsibility that comes from, I'm a leader. So that means people are holding you to a standard. To whatever you saying, they might just go with it. If it's for the positive or if it's from the negative. So you have to make sure what you are standing for is very, very morally right. Just say less.
No, I mean, that's very true. I think that a lot of times, we forget that people are looking to others, to show them the way, right? Mm-hmm. And that's where we hear people talk about being sheeple, being followers and things like that. And so I think a lot of people forget that, we can be our own leader, right? We could be our own leader if we have a vision. I know I talked to Nate this morning. Me and Nate had church this morning. We didn't even go to church, but we had church this morning. Definitely. And we were talking about how your vision is your purpose. And I know a lot of leaders are given a vision and they don't execute.
They're not meant to be leaders though. So, there's just a few things that goes into leadership. Like, first of all, you have to be ready to be a leader. Sometimes people are put in positions of leadership and they shouldn't because they aren't ready to be a leader because they were never meant to be a leader. How do you identify yourself as a leader? So there's different things that, I'm still learning how to be the leader that God called me to be, because everybody has a form of leadership. That don't mean you're ready to lead the people. You may be able to only be able to lead your life, but not people.
Definitely.
So that's pretty much.
So let's talk about some characteristics of leadership then, because if you are only able to lead your life, but you're not able to lead others, what does that mean?
Well, I think that just comes from, that's a good one, but I just think that just comes from your upbringings, and there's a lot of logistics that goes into being a leader and, your lifestyle, is your lifestyle represent leadership in your life or it just depends on how you, because you can be a leader in your life and have a good impact on somebody because you're a positive person. That don't make you a leader though. So the characteristics, what kind of characteristics make a leader? That would be the next question.
What do you got to say, Leo, on that?
All right, definitely. Now run that question back again, sister.
What are the characteristics that make you a leader, someone that people should follow?
Oh, okay. You leading somebody to a morally righteous place where they can grow internally, outerly.
Outerly?
Yeah.
Outwardly?
Outwardly, emotionally, physically, spiritually, intelligently. So just a couple of things, but if you put yourself in a position to be a leader, just know that whatever you do, other people's gonna follow it, whether if it's right or whether it is wrong. So
that's right.
And I think a good example, we can talk about Trump real quick because
he's a horrible leader. He's one of the worst leaders that's ever been put in a role of leadership. Now we got to break down who he is. Donald Trump is I don't want to use any racial slurs or anything like that, but Donald Trump is a rich leader, but he wasn't ready to lead the nation. So I think we have to take accountability for that because Donald Trump shouldn't be the leader. You know, he has a lifestyle. Just take a look at who he is. You know, you're segregating and you are separating the people. Who is America? The people make up America, not just one person, not just white, not just black, not just Spanish, not just, you know, India, whatever your ethnic background is.
Yeah.
The people make up America. So, you know, in a form of leadership, you have to figure out how to lead the people, not just the people that identify to you. Now remember who he is.
Yeah.
He's a rich what? White man. Let's call it what it is. All right. He's a rich white man. So he identifies with what? The rich white people.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So who is he trying to bring up? The rich white folk. Now, the system was designed to keep us poor. You know, and I think he's trying to empower that system by removing the dreamers from our nation. So I don't think he was ever intended to be a leader. Matter of fact, I'll take you even deeper. I don't think that he thought he was going to win the presidency.
Oh, he said he didn't think that he was.
Right. So what does that tell you? He doesn't see himself as a leader. So if you don't see yourself as a leader, what does that say? So that we got to break down the logistics of what leadership means. Just because you have a good life or you make a lot of money doesn't make you a good leader. You know, there's a lot of things that goes into leadership. You know, your life has to be of leadership. The things that you do has to be things in leadership.
So your life typically has to be an example.
An example to leadership, exactly. But you can't just talk about it, you have to be about it. You know, so
Hey, Puff said that back in '95.
Exactly. So, and he's not a good leader either, but we ain't gonna talk about him.
Okay.
But, you know, it's just a lot of things that goes into being a good leader. Again, a lot of people weren't meant to be one. How do you identify yourself as a leader? That's a question that we can put out there to everybody.
Chime in, you guys. I got some people watching. I got 3 folks on my view.
I got somebody like me because I ain't got none.
Watching. What do you guys think? I mean, we want to get some participation feedback. There's a lot of times we're on the radio and we're just kind of talking at you guys, but we definitely want to get some contribution from our followers, our listeners on what do you guys think true leadership is about. We can pull up some leadership characteristics.
Yeah, that probably was the
Yeah, I was just
thing.
that's crazy. I was just looking at that.
What you got?
Leadership characteristics. Let's break that down. What is it? I'll just throw out there what a good characteristic of a leader is. Direction. That's one. That's a characteristics. One of the characteristics of being a good leader is having direction. But who are you directed by? Now it gets spiritual. You know what I'm saying? Are you directed by the higher power or the lower power? What is the lower power? The lower power is the forces of darkness. All right, so that's where you differentiate from the leaders of light and the leaders of darkness. So then we get even deeper there.
What you got, Leo?
Definitely. Giving people the tools to success.
The
One of the characteristics of leadership. That's it.
Definitely. And also changing the environment around you. I dropped a post. It's crazy.
That's another. That's definitely one of the top things. I think there's like a top 5. So
Yeah, definitely. You gotta be confident.
That's
You
it.
gotta have some courage.
That's it.
You gotta have intelligence.
That's it.
Emotional intelligence as
That's
well.
right.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, the
That's
EQ
very important.
the EQ is very, very slept on because most people, you know, with us, we're highly sensitive and
That's
overly
right.
emotional.
That's right. That's right.
Anytime you have a people like that, most of them they can't be leaders because if you go into war, if you go into battle, anything like that, anything that comes off that you don't like, you'll get emotional about it instead of being more logical. So and that's very, very damaging. So if you do want to put yourself in a leadership position,
Right.
you
right.
have to make sure that your EQ or your emotional intelligence is exactly on point because your IQ can be super high.
That's right.
But if somebody do something to get like, oh man, what you trying to say? That's if you notice, like in the workforce, that's why we never like advanced
That's right. Because
to a certain point.
everybody wasn't meant.
Exactly, and then that's we have to actually take responsibility for that.
Accountability as well.
Responsibility, accountability that everybody is not meant to be a leader, and maybe you don't have what it takes to be a leader,
That's
but
right.
you can also be a great follower.
Come on.
So
amongst the leaders, that's right.
exactly. So you kind of gotta get your ego and your pride out of it.
That's it. That's another
greatness.
characteristic.
So
I think being able to show people what they have within themselves. You know, I think that is somebody that's definitely, a good leader. Somebody is able to. We're getting some feedback here. A good leader is a good listener and can access people's strengths and skills and sets to get the most out of his people. Be open and make it a plan of inclusion where their voice can be heard. Thank you, Daryl. We have Mark Anthony. So for someone who doesn't have those characteristics but wants to be a leader, what are some things that an individual can do to obtain those characteristics?
Well, you got to take a look at your life first. That's the first thing.
So you got to go inward.
You got to go inward first.
You do have to
Take
go
a look
inward.
at your life. If you live a life of leadership, what are you doing in your life to lead? Or are you able to just lead yourself in the right direction? So it is a really, really deep thing. That's why I say everybody is not meant to be a leader. You may be a leader in your life to lead your life, a life of success, a successful path, balanced emotions like Leo said. So that's very important though. You got to look at your life first. Are you leading your life right? How do you know you're leading your life? How do you know you're successful? You pay all your bills on time. As it gets real technical when it comes to leadership.
Is that really a true characteristic if you pay your bills on time that you're a good leader?
Well, I mean, that just comes with just look at it now. Look at it now. If you
Because now we're talking about the system and what they require from us.
but go ahead.
Pardon me not to cut you off.
No, you good.
All right, so the reason why the brother was saying that, so we have to make sure that we really be on point. Because
Right.
people be like, oh man, that ain't that important, right? So
Right.
paying something on time shows leadership.
Come on, brother. That's
Shows
it.
responsibility.
That is
Shows
it.
dedication.
That is it.
Nate's in church. Nate is in church right now.
I don't want to use church, but I just say a good logical conversation.
Yeah, definitely. So, we got to keep it logical. So, the thing is, if you improve something in one area, it starts to leak in all of the other areas.
That's right.
So, if you notice, okay, man, boom, I'm not about to pay my bills on time. The
Then you're not a
chances,
leader.
exactly. So, the chances of you showing up to anything that's not related to your job is not going to happen. We had a conversation about that before.
Right. That's
So,
right.
you have to be able to be respectful of time. So,
Come on.
That's exactly
That's it.
right. Daryl just said showing up
That's
on
it.
time is leadership. That's
That's
exactly
it.
right.
That is one of the characteristics is being on time. That's one of the characteristics.
Okay, we breaking them down. We breaking them down.
Nobody's perfect.
Yes, you set the
Being
example.
on time is another
That's right.
characteristic.
That's right. What else we got? What else we got, Leo?
I'm late all the time, but hell, it'll be all right. I'm long as I'm on time. As long as I'm on time, I'm good.
crazy. Goal setting and goal reaching.
That's right. So basically,
That's
you're
another
giving people
characteristic.
the plan,
Definitely.
having a plan, and having the steps to get the plan accomplished.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. 'Cause- And even going with that, so if you want to set goals, that's one thing, right?
Right.
But to actually lead and go forward with goals is completely something else.
That's
So
right.
it take a lot of determination
To execute.
To
to
set.
execute.
Right, but you got to set the goal first, which takes a leader. If you don't have
Exactly.
any goals, now you got to get technical with it.
Exactly.
Do you have goals? Leaders have goals because why? They want to go somewhere. They're not complacent.
That's right.
That's
Exactly.
another
We're
characteristic.
not
of a
stagnant.
leader. Right, not stagnant. That's another characteristic of a leader. You can't be complacent and all those different types of things like that. So, it's deep, man.
It is deep, and I think a lot of people,
Deep.
when we just talk about our households, and we hear a lot of people say, "Hey, we're looking for a leader. We need somebody to show us the way," and things of that nature. For me, I feel like we need to be leaders in our household.
That's where it starts, from the house.
We need to take control of our household. We need to take the reins and take control of our lives, essentially.
That's right.
Before we can lead other people.
That's right.
We can't lead no one else if we can't lead ourselves.
If your bills ain't paid, you can't tell nobody else. Man, you better pay your cell bill on time. You know what I mean? It's technical, man. And I think that's the reason why, we have the issues we have in the black community, because there's not enough leaders. You know what I'm saying? There's all these chiefs running around and all that, but there's not enough
Chiefs,
leaders.
not enough Indians.
Right. So everybody wants to be a chief, but you don't have what it takes to be a leader. You can be a chief of your life, but not a leader amongst nations. That's what it comes down
Yeah,
to.
definitely.
Do you believe that leadership could be male or female?
It doesn't matter.
Yeah, it doesn't.
It's not segregated.
Well, because a lot of the time, if we look at past tense, people think that only males can be good leaders.
That's only because of the system. The system. We gotta look at the system.
Westernized sense.
There you go. That's it.
Okay.
Look
That's
back
it.
in the ancient senses.
The queens was ruling.
Yeah.
That's right.
We
That's
queen
why
it.
there's a queen and king. That the leaders, you lead the women and the men lead the men.
Exactly.
So that's it.
Yeah, definitely, and that's factual. As far as like leadership with me, I know this might sound very, very shocking. I feel like it shouldn't just be one leader. I feel like it should be multiple leaders with
That's right.
great
Iron sharpens
traits.
iron.
Exactly, traits and like skills. Cause
Hold on. Are you talking about within the household?
No, outside the household.
Generally.
Yeah, in general. Because
Okay.
you notice it's not no one white leader or Asian leader, Latino leaders. They all like, okay, we all need to have leadership skills to help expel all the ills of what's going on in our society. If you notice, whenever it's a leader amongst people, you ever see what they happen to them? You see what they do to Jesus?
Right.
Like,
They
you see what
try
happened?
to take from it. But that's the. Excuse me. That is the. See, then you got to identify which leader are you going with, the leader of the higher power or the lower power. So that's another really big thing, and everything.
Hi, Sharon.
Everything.
Sharon.
People have to realize that it's spiritual. Everything is spiritual. I don't care what you got going on in your life.
As of
You gotta
below.
have God.
What do you say? As of below.
What?
As of above, so is below. That's the thing. You ever heard that? You heard that, Leo.
Yes.
What did I say? What am I saying? Am I saying it wrong? He gonna laugh at me. I can't stand him. You know what I'm trying to say. He's so funny.
But anyways, it's just the leadership. Like, I mean, a lot of people are confused because they want to run and they want to have control. You can't try to control something if you're not a leader. You got to know how to control it. You know what I'm saying? Control and trying to take over and those things. So it's just a leadership and being able to know how to be a leader and stay a leader. You can never fall off if you're a leader.
You know,
Yeah.
you know what I think too. A lot of people think that they're leading in all capacities,
And they're not.
and that's right.
Because their life ain't right.
But in conjunction to that,
Right.
we're only going to be able to lead, you know what I mean, where we're strong at. We can't lead in all areas.
That makes sense.
And we need to be able to let other people lead where they're strong at.
Right.
You know what I mean? Instead of trying to take over. I'm the leader. I'm going to lead all the initiatives.
Right.
You know, that's not true. And I think a lot of
You
people
can't
get
take over, but
confused.
see, a leader knows how to lead without an ego. So that's another thing that you suppress if you're a leader. Ego. It's okay to be smart, but having an ego as leader, nah. Because guess what? The leader leads the people. And if you have an ego, I don't think that's a good characteristic of a leader. Because that's a big I, little you. You want to take over. You know what I mean? So I think that's another characteristic. Because you were saying the characteristics of leadership. No ego. That's another characteristic. So
Thanks,
can't
Mark.
have
Hey,
ego.
thanks, Mark Anthony, for tuning in. He said he appreciates it.
Oh yeah, definitely. The other thing too, to being a leader is a positive attitude.
That's it.
You have to be optimistic.
At all times. That's right.
What'd you say?
I'm sorry.
Positive attitude. You have to be optimistic at all times. Yes, ma'am. Because the problem what goes on, if you ever try to lead anything, whether you're hooping, music, cooking, anything, everybody is not going to be on the same exact accord as you. So what your cool self got to do is...
That's your cool self.
No, because the thing, because it's a frustrating thing. Like, man,
It
I'm
is.
trying to tell you this.
That's
but
right.
They don't want to listen.
Yeah, exactly. So, you have to be very positive. It's just like raising up a child, right?
Hey,
you have to
Deshaun.
be very, very positive with raising a child because you are like the ultimate always. Oh, yeah, shout out to all the women out there. The women's are the first children. I mean, the first teachers of all everybody. Shout out y'all. So, also, people have to realize on top of that, what's going on is the male's going to be there.
Mm-hmm.
Both of y'all are great leaders. They're going to pick up on everything, but you can't get frustrated at somebody who don't know no better. A child is a sponge. They don't know no better. And then we have to go a little bit deeper. Just because you physically at age don't mean that you mentally at age. Somebody can be a child at 50 years old.
That's so true.
You know?
Man,
That's
that's,
so
funny,
true.
but it's extremely
They get
Yeah.
stunted. Their growth gets stunted, and people
Yeah.
don't really believe that that's true.
That's right.
Definitely.
You know what I mean? They get stuck in an age. It's like a loop. You know what I mean? They're at an age and it just keeps going around and going around. They just keep replaying being 19 because that's probably the age they had the most fun at.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, that's normally how it happens. That's the age they had the most fun at. That's the age they enjoyed the most, and they get stuck there.
Definitely.
You know?
Ooh, that's a deep one right there.
You know I'm deep.
Ooh.
That's Libras is deep. Libra gang. I'm just kidding.
Yes, with the gangs. So. No, you actually got a point. And the other thing, when you look at that part about it, when you jump around the leadership, the people that's around them, right? Nobody is telling them, like, my guy or sister, this is not right. You can't keep on living the same exact years over and over and over and over, and that becomes a problem all the time. But people don't realize that. Like I was just, it's crazy. I was just telling the queen that earlier. I was just telling the women, a lot of y'all out there who'll be like, oh, okay, cool. I'm gonna lead it. I'm gonna be the single parent household, right? Most of y'all run into the leftovers of a single parent household.
Leftovers. Explain that.
The leftovers, right? So leadership is very, very important. What goes on, the reason why I call it leftovers, right? I don't know, my man might be able to contest. When you were growing up, right, and you was hanging out with the guys, did anybody call them women's queens, earths, these are first teachers?
They were calling them everything else but that.
Oh, okay. I gotta replay that one more time.
They were calling. Ooh, that's a big one. They were calling women everything but what they really are. You know what I'm saying? So that again, that stirs from the systematic problem that they did to us. They put drugs in our community. They poison us every day. So yeah.
Is it they or do we do it to ourselves?
No, we are allowing them to do it to us because we haven't stood up and stopped it.
Definitely so. The reason why I was saying, great, man, that was a valid point, man. Appreciate it. So the reason why I was saying this, if you just, I'm trying to look at y'all.
No, take your time, man.
So
work it.
So the main thing about it is it all goes back to leadership. So when I was just saying, like, have you ever heard somebody when we was growing up say, man, that's a queen right there, that's a goddess right there, right?
Right.
No, they was calling her, they was being everything else but that.
What they were supposed
And
to be
then
called.
whatever everybody else started doing, they started following the point. They started following the suit because nobody was around them leading them.
Queen Latifah told y'all, UNITY, we told
But nobody
y'all.
understand that because we were dumbed down
Yeah,
by
no,
the system.
exactly, and that's 100% true. If the males were on that, then that would make more sense.
Right.
So, and that's not no disrespect to the queens or nothing like that, but it's a war going on both sides. The men need to step up, and the women need to step up as far as it being a grand total of leadership. But you have to be able to take that responsibility and also know that there's some accountability that come with that. Because if not, you're gonna mess up all the church's money, and then the
Like
same
they've been doing.
Yeah, like they've been
put a
doing.
doorknob on the damn church. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like they're doing. It's going to be like a repeated cycle. So, and then we have to. I know you was talking about.
But tell them more about what accountability is, because a lot of people
That's
don't really
part of
understand.
leadership.
I know, but they don't really understand what it means to be accountable for themselves.
Definitely.
That's a deep one.
That definitely. All right, now this might sound.
Because you be praying to Jesus and you be like, he got it.
Yeah, no.
And you ain't gave it to him yet. Keep
Yeah,
going.
definitely, and that's the thing too. Sister Kimber was talking about that like last week, where she was saying, "Why is you giving God a holy power all your trash?"
Right.
No.
That's a good one.
Because the thing, because if you really think about it, it get to a point where you're like, God got me. If you know it ain't no gas in the car. You need to put some gas up in there. Oh man,
That's just common sense right there. That's it.
Exactly. If there's no accountability, you have to take accountability. And then in the book it says, God helps those who help themselves.
That's right.
If you're not going to help yourself and take accountability, and what I mean, you have to take an account of your actions. If you're responsible, you do that. Don't put everything off on everything else. And once you start to take responsibility for your actions and your growth, you'll be a whole different person. Your energy is going to change.
That's right.
Your environment is going to change. What you touch is going to change.
Right.
So the more you be accountable, the more growth you see in life. The more you put it off on everything else, there's going to be a lot of shortcomings.
That's right.
I think a lot of people forget. I mean, they talk about math all the time. And I think since I've been in business, I've really been able to understand math better. Common denominators,
Right.
Multiplication, division, ratios. A lot of people forget that these are all things that we encounter every day when we're interacting with people.
Right.
And people don't realize, they want to blame everybody else for the same situation that they're going through. And then you have to go back. Are you the common denominator?
Right.
If you're the common denominator, then you need to take a look at yourself and see exactly why all your past relationships are going awry,
Back to your leadership.
you know, things of that nature. So, I mean, just trying to get people to really understand what it means to be accountable for ourselves and take a look at ourselves. Pull the mirror up. You know what I mean? Michael Jackson told us.
Look at the man in the mirror.
He did. You know,
Well,
we
see,
definitely
a lot
have
of people
to.
didn't even understand that. Michael Jackson was a leader, but he didn't know he was a leader. And that's because of the way his father did it. You know what I'm saying? So
He beat it out of him.
He beat the leader out of him. But why did he do that?
So he could be a part of the group.
Right. But it's deep, man. We ain't gonna get into the the whole logistical situation of that. But
We don't have to come. We don't have to come back on the leadership tip.
Yeah, we're gonna need a whole nother show for that.
Yeah, we will. We will. This is segment 1. We'll call this segment 1 of leadership.
But I think it's important because a lot of our people are looking for leadership. You know what I mean? And they don't even realize that, you know, you can't even follow nobody until you want to get your steps in order. You know?
That's right.
Are we about to take a break?
Your life.
Yeah, definitely. We're gonna take a break, world. It's a powerful subject. This was on the spot, so it's,
On the spot.
This is on the spot. So we're gonna tune back in, world. Appreciate y'all. Salute.
Tune in. We'll be back.
Where am I at? I ain't got